Hi, my name is AJ, this is Strengthjournal episode 20, and today I'd like to tell you why I personally think that keeping a training log is very important for everyone who starts the fitness journey or who starts any kind of pursuit in their life. You see, most people start to train because they have a certain goal in mind. Some people want to achieve a certain kind of physique, some other people maybe chase some performance-based goal, and no matter what kind of goal you have, all goals have in common that they usually take quite a long time to achieve. We're not talking about days, weeks or months. We're talking about several years in order to get to these goals. And in the beginning of your journey, you will make gains rather fast because you're basically just making newbie gains, which means that in the beginning, your body adapts rather fast to the new stimulus because you didn't give that stimulus to your body beforehand. But at some point, especially once you reach that intermediate to advanced level, these gains will start to slow down. And at that point, it can become quite rough to actually assess your progress properly. Because sometimes it could seem like that you're not making any progress at all, or that you're even regressing. But in reality, that might actually not be that true, because it just takes longer now because you are more advanced. And I think this is where a training log can be very helpful. What the training log allows you to do is to assess your training from a broader perspective. I can tell you what I did in my last workout, and I can also tell you what I did 2 workouts ago. But if you ask me what I did a month ago in a workout, or 2 months ago in a workout, or even a year back in a workout, I couldn't tell you because I just don't know. But if you write down everything that you do in your training, you can always look back to it, and then you can actually see if you made progress or not. And usually you will find, especially if you look back at your training like from several months ago, you will see that you actually make quite a lot of progress. And I think that will help you to stay motivated, but also to assess your training not just short term, but long term. And I think that is very important to make progress forever, basically, in your life. Because your gains will just, if you keep on training properly and keep on staying consistent, the gains will slow down more and more and more the closer you get to your goal. And the closer you get to your goal, the more important it is to stay motivated and to have a positive mindset towards your own progress. So there was one reason on why I think that having a training log is so beneficial for a lot of people. But I would like to give you another reason. I also think that having a training log keeps you more accountable of your training and gives you more variables to look at when it comes to assessing your training. So what do I mean by that? I actually quite like the quote, "What gets measured gets managed." I got this quote from Fitness FAQs. I'm not sure if he's the person who invented it, probably not, but he's the first person that I heard this quote from. So if you write down everything that you do, if you're measuring everything, you actually get the possibility to also manage everything. This allows you to make corrections to your program more easily if you're writing down everything, instead of just relying on your feeling or what you thought you did in last workout, but actually it's something different. And having that written down on paper can just help you to manage your training better. Let me give you an example. Let's say you've done the same workout for a couple of weeks now, and now it's time to assess your progress. And now you can actually look at everything that you've written down for each of these workouts and see, okay, did I make progress? Was I able to increase the repetitions? Wasn't I able to increase the repetitions? Was I instead able to maybe do the sets better? Or did they feel easier? There's a lot of things to look at now that you can actually assess and see if you made progress or not. And let's say maybe you didn't make progress, you kind of plateaued for these couple of weeks. First of all, this doesn't have to mean anything, especially if you're more advanced. It could just take longer to make any progress at all. But maybe there's some things that you could correct now. For example, maybe you didn't push hard enough. Maybe your program needs some form of change in order to make progress again. Or you just need to do a different exercise where you have like a certain weakness. If you're trying to correct your program now, then if you're writing down everything again, then you can actually assess again if the correction helped or not. So that training log allows you to look at more variables and look at them more from a rational perspective instead of from just like a feeling perspective. So these are the two main reasons on why I personally think that training logs are very important. And some of you might have the question on how should you structure a training log. And I personally think that that just comes down to personal preference. There are a lot of different ways to have a training log. You could use something like a book, like I like to do, but you could also just write it down in your phone notes or have some form of app. Just choose what you like and then use that, and use it consistently. Don't just write down one workout and then skip the next 5 workouts and then just write it down again. Write down every workout. How much you write down is also just like personal preference, I would say. So some people will probably write down more, some people would like to write down less. Everything can work. You just have to find out what works for you and what you actually enjoy doing, because if you're getting too annoyed by keeping a training log, you will stop doing that. So that's also not good. So kind of find the middle ground where you find you can stay consistent with the training log but still actually enjoy doing it. So I will add in some clips of my own training log. I personally like to write down what kind of workout I'm doing. So if the push, pull, whatever kind of day, I write down what exercises I do, how many sets I do, the rep range that I chose for that day. And I also like to write down how many reps I got in the end, the weight I used, if it's a dumbbell exercise, or the additional load I use, if it's like a weighted calisthenics exercise, or also if you're using body weight only, I would also write down the progression. And I would also write down your intensity, so your RIR, so reps in reserve, or RPE, and that's like what I write down. And I also have like a little assessment at the end of the workout where I give my workout a rating out of 10, just to kind of have a think about on how good I felt during the workout and how happy I am with the performance of the workout. And I also have like a smiley system for each exercise. So next to every exercise, I'm putting a smiley, and obviously like if it's a happy smiley, then the exercise went good, I performed well. If it's like a sad smiley, I didn't perform well. That's how I like to do it. Not saying that is like the perfect way, but that's like an example that you could use. So that was my take on why training logs are awesome and important, especially for people who have these long-term goals. And now I'd really like to know if you have a training log and what your thoughts are in general on training logs and what your opinion is on that topic. So feel free to share your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you like this video, I would highly appreciate it if you press the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time. Much love and see you on level 100. Peace.